about the unexpected things since owning this car, or just a supercar in general. So I've got 5 items. I guess we can just jump right into it. One being that people stare, take pictures, video, which I'll preface with I expected to an extent. I expected the car to get photographed or video taken or something, or for people to look. It still kind of surprises you if you're not used to it. No one ever did in the Silverado. I mean, I don't know why, it's a great truck. But yeah, no, I know. Yeah, still kind of getting used to that. And I guess that kind of leads it into item 2, being that people hang out in the blind spot in this car, or I guess in supercars in general, or any mid-engine car. And blind spot being the rear quarter panels on either side behind the B-pillar. So pretty much directly out where this camera's facing and directly out where that camera's facing. And they'll kind of hang back there. I can see, like, phone will come out and, you know, picture, video, or whatever, which is cool, but I don't think they know that is in my blind spot, so when I go to switch lanes, I can't see you. So that's been kind of something just to get accustomed to, double or even triple checking over your shoulder and in the mirrors before switching, just because it's tough to see. So again, just not really used to it. Normally, you know, cars don't pace you and try to stay at that certain angle, which I guess is the unexpected part. But that leads into item number 3, visibility. So it's actually really good, and that's the unexpected part, is that mid-engine cars and all, like the I guess rear engine, mid-engine, whatever, have always kind of had this perception, or at least I've picked up on the perception that they're really shitty visibility. That's not really the truth in this car. Obviously forward and side visibility, absolutely great. With the frameless windows and not having, you know, the B-pillar here, you can see out the sides, no problem. Granted, my tint is really dark, so at night that kind of sucks, but that's not the car's fault. Rearward visibility, not bad. The mirrors work well. The rear window is an adequate size, and I don't get that many funny reflections from the double glass, because there's the one over the engine bay and then the rear glass between me and the engine bay. So that's not too bad. Like I mentioned for item 2, really it's just the blind spots. But every car has a blind spot somewhere. These just happen to be a little bit bigger because there's, you know, giant B-pillar back there. And on this particular case, the carbon fiber Sigma blades. But overall, can't really complain, and that's a nice unexpected outcome. So then with item 4, friends and family are really reluctant to drive the car. So I offer it up to almost anyone that I feel comfortable driving, which really is, if you've had your license for more than, I don't know, a couple years, and you can somewhat drive a manual, then you're welcome to drive the car. And when I've asked people, I don't know, I've asked maybe a dozen and a half, 2 dozen, and I think only 3 have taken me up on it. So that was actually kind of surprising, because it's not every day you necessarily get a chance to drive something like this. And I know for some people maybe it's just they have no interest because they're not into cars. I totally get that. Like, that's not everyone's, you know, interest. Also, I'm sure there's some people that aren't comfortable in their manual abilities and don't want to burn out a clutch, which I guess kind of leads into the third possibility, is their perception of the value, if they don't want to damage it or hurt it. But really, it's just a car. And yeah, I mean, if you mess up the clutch, it's going to be a little bit pricier than in an Integra or a Corolla. But even so, again, it drives no not much different than a car. If you can manage driving a Honda Pilot around the block, then you can probably drive this car. It's really not that difficult. I just find that really kind of interesting and was somewhat unexpected. Obviously, what I did expect is everyone wants to go for rides, so that's, you know, the not waiting list, but the list of people that would love to go are out the door. But I figured more people would actually take me up on actually going for a drive, so that was a little interesting. And I guess that kind of goes into the fifth item, being that it's maybe the perception of the car. People think the car is newer than it is. Many people that I thought were actually kind of into cars, turns out they think it's a brand new car, when really, I mean, anyone who's somewhat familiar with the R8 knows this is a pretty old model. It's the first generation, it's pre-facelift, and you know, now that they have the second generation out with I think 2017 is the newer, which by the way they no longer make the manual, so I got the only manual V10 that the R8 will ever come in, or version of it. There's other quantities out there obviously. But yeah, anyone familiar with the R8 lineup knows this is relatively old. You know, maybe not exactly 2010, but you know it's not the facelift and it's not the second gen. But yeah, so that's surprising. I mean, it is in very good condition. So when I say it has 14,000 miles, like there's absolutely no door dings or scratches. The interior barely shows any wear. I mean, even the leather is really good for the age and miles. So I guess I could kind of understand their surprise, but still, it's not the newest looking car. But hey, if you know it gives off that image, then I guess that's better than looking old. But then again, I guess that goes for all supercars, and I guess a lot of these topics apply. I mean, even going back to the photos and videos, like, you know, whether you get this or Carrera GT or 570S, I mean, chances are people are still all going to kind of behave the same. In LA, it's maybe a little less common because these cars are much more common than, say, Kansas City or Charleston. Not saying that the cars don't exist there, but it's just they're a lot more common out here, and they're daily driven a lot more often out here because we can year round. But yeah, then I guess the rest of the topics apply as well. Visibility. Visibility might change car to car. I don't know. I haven't driven enough supercars. In fact, this is the only supercar I've ever driven. I've never even ridden in another one other than I sat in a Gallardo once, like 10 years ago. That's about it. So, can't really comment on the visibility part. The fifth item, with being that it's newer than it is, I guess that goes back to, if you don't see them very often, you're not familiar with the car. For some, it might be the first time they've ever seen it, so they wouldn't know what year it is. And I guess that would go with a Carrera GT especially, or LFA, anything that you rarely see. Alright folks, well that about wraps it up. The 5 unexpected things that I've kind of encountered while owning this car, that I guess applies to this car as well as just supercars in general. Go ahead and leave a comment whether you agree, disagree. I don't know, maybe some of you have found it different with some of the cars you've owned. Love to hear some feedback, and maybe we can do a follow-up video in another another couple months of ownership. Alright folks, thanks again for watching. That's all for now. Take care, and I'll see you in the next.